All right. So thanks for doing this. I got from you that you wanted to work on financial things, your finances.
Yes.
So tell me what the problem is.
So I noticed that there's two problems. One is that I feel like I have to stress before money comes to me. And the other one is feeling like I always have something new to pay for. So no matter how much I make, I just end up having all these unexpected bills.
Okay. Which one do you think is the the one that shows up most for you, or the one that's showing up most for you right now?
Unexpected bills.
Unexpected bills. So you said no matter how much money I make. Finish that sentence.
No matter how much money I make, there's always something that my money has to go to.
Right. Okay.
I can't save. Can't save or like spend it on what I want to spend it on.
All right. Okay. And so, when was the last time that it happened that you were making money, but you had unexpected bills?
A day ago, 2 days ago.
Okay. What happened?
So, I had plans to save some money this time around. But then hockey prices ended up going up and I had to put money towards hockey, which I don't usually have to for my son. And that was the most recent time.
Okay. So let's go there first. And how did you find out that you had to, fork over more money or pay more money for hockey?
Well, it was asked of me to help out, which is fine. Like, I am happy to help out for that, of course. But it was just like, it wasn't necessarily what I was putting my money towards. It was just like, oh, like right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So thinking about getting that, which a phone call, a meeting, how were you asked?
Through text message.
Text message.
Yeah.
All right. So imagine getting that text message now, thinking about it now. You were asked to give some money towards hockey, to help with hockey.
Yeah.
And how are you feeling just thinking about that now?
Well, I guess that's kind of the hard part, because I'm like, yeah, that's something I do actually want to pay for, but it was just like the timing of it. But so thinking about just that, like.
And the timing of it?
Yeah. I just feel annoyed.
Annoyed?
Yeah.
And 0 to 10 on annoyed?
Like a 7.
And do you feel that anywhere in your body?
On my chest.
Okay.
On my chest.
All right. And if I ask you to repeat anything that doesn't sound true, or you want to say it in a different way, just interrupt me, correct me. I want to use your words as much as I can to do that.
Okay.
Okay. So even though I feel annoyed in my chest.
Even though I feel annoyed in my chest.
Getting that text. Asking for money for hockey. Right now. And I'm annoyed by the timing of it. I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I feel annoyed in my chest. Just thinking about the timing of it. Getting that text message asking me to contribute. I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I feel annoyed. And I feel it in my chest. Getting that text message. Asking money for my son for hockey. Right now. I'm annoyed with the timing of it. I deeply and completely accept myself. Good. Feeling annoyed.
Feeling annoyed.
Feeling annoyed.
Feeling annoyed.
Feeling annoyed.
Feeling annoyed.
Feeling annoyed in my chest.
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 Feeling annoyed.
Feeling annoyed. So I still feel like I think I'm just more annoyed that I didn't have the money like right away.
Okay.
Like knowing that these are things that I want to pay for, but
Yeah.
knowing that I just don't, like, it's not just that easy.
Okay.
Like it,
And
sorry.
go ahead.
Oh yeah, just like that I feel like I'm always saying like, yeah, like feeling like I'm always saying like, yeah, I'll have the money, but then that money never comes. Like it's always in the future that I'll have money.
Okay. Okay. And so how strong is that feeling of annoyed that you didn't have the money right now?
Like a 10.
Okay. Do you still feel that in your chest or somewhere else?
In my chest.
Okay. All right. Even though I feel annoyed in my chest.
Even though I feel annoyed in my chest.
Getting that text. And I'm annoyed that I don't have the money.
And I'm annoyed that I don't have the money.
Right away.
I
deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I feel annoyed. Getting that text. Because I didn't have the money. And it's something that I do want to spend it on. But I didn't have it. And I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I feel annoyed in my chest. Just thinking about getting that text. And not having the money right away. I deeply and completely accept myself. Feeling annoyed. Feeling annoyed. Feeling annoyed. That I didn't have the money right away. Feeling annoyed. That I didn't have the money right away. Feeling annoyed. Feeling annoyed. Okay? So for this one time, getting that text, not having the money for that right away, annoyed 0 to 10.
Still pretty high. Like I would say still like a 7.
Okay.
And it's kind of in my chest, down my stomach.
Chest down to your stomach? And what part of that are you focusing on?
I guess just feeling like I'm not able to provide.
Okay. Okay. And is it still annoyed or some other emotion?
I guess it's kind of just like I'm fed up with it.
Okay.
Is that an emotion?
Sure. Okay. Even though I'm just fed up with it. Getting that text. Not having the money right away. Not being able to provide. I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I feel it in my chest down to my stomach. Not being able to provide. Getting that text message. And not having the money right away. I'm just fed up with it. I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I'm fed up with it. Not being able to provide. Getting that text message. Not having the money right away. I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Good. I'm fed up with it.
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 Not being able to provide.
Not being able to provide.
I didn't have the money right away.
I didn't have the money right away.
Feeling fed up with it.
Feeling fed up with it.
I feel fed up with it.
I feel fed up with it.
From my chest down to my stomach.
From my chest down to my stomach.
I'm so fed up with it.
I'm so fed up with it. I feel better, like probably a 6, but
Okay.
I still feel like just heaviness in my chest, and it just, I guess the thought of like, is it always going to be like this?
Yeah.
You know, like, is there always going to be something new to pay for? Am I ever going to get ahead? Doesn't matter
Yeah.
how much I make.
Yeah. Now, is there a better example of you feeling that way, of not being able to provide, of being this whole theme around, you know, the money stuff? Is there a better example than this, than the hockey stuff?
Well, I guess kind of in a way, like I live in a small little basement suite, which is like really nice, but I guess I kind of have some guilt that like I don't have that I don't have like a nice place for the boys to stay, and like I don't really have enough room for all of us, but it's what we have.
Okay. So thinking now about the space that you're in, what's the emotion?
It's really nice. It's really nice, but
Yeah.
it's really small and I just feel guilty.
0 to 10 on the guilt.
Like a 9.
Where do you feel it?
In my chest.
Okay. Even though I feel all this guilt in my chest,
Even though I feel all this guilt in my chest,
just thinking about my basement suite,
just thinking about my basement suite,
it's nice.
it's nice.
It's big enough for them to stay.
Big enough for them to stay.
But what's the rest of that?
But there's just not enough room for all of us.
Oh, there's not enough room for all of us. Okay. And I deeply, completely accept myself.
And I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I feel all this guilt in my chest,
Even though I feel all this guilt in my chest,
just thinking about my basement suite,
just thinking about my basement suite,
there isn't enough room for all of us.
there isn't enough room for all of us.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I feel this guilt in my chest,
Even though I feel this guilt in my chest,
it's nice,
it's nice,
but I feel this guilt that it's not big enough for all of us.
but I feel this guilt that it's not big enough for all of us.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
This guilt in my chest,
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 that it's not big enough for all of us.
that it's not big enough for all of us.
This guilt in my chest,
This guilt in my chest,
it's not big enough for all of us.
it's not big enough for all of us.
This guilt in my chest,
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 it's not big enough for all of us.
it's not big enough for all of us. I feel a lot better because I'm pretty sure the boys don't care.
I don't care. Okay, that's good.
They're probably just happy we're all together, but
Okay. So 0 to 10 on the guilt, thinking about your basement suite and it's not big enough for all of you. 0 to 10.
I would say like a 5
And do you still feel it in your chest or somewhere else?
in my chest.
Okay. Even though I still feel this in my chest,
Even though I still feel this in my chest,
all of this guilt,
all of this guilt,
it's not big enough for all of us.
it's not big enough for all of us.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I feel this guilt in my chest,
Even though I feel this guilt in my chest,
just thinking about my basement suite,
just thinking about my basement suite,
It's not big enough for all of us.
It's not big enough for all of us.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I feel this guilt in my chest,
Even though I feel this guilt in my chest.
it's not big enough for all of us.
It's not big enough for all of us.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
This guilt in my chest,
This guilt in my chest.
this guilt in my chest,
This guilt in my chest.
it's not big enough for all of us.
It's not big enough for all of us.
It's not big enough for all of us.
Not big enough for all of us.
This guilt in my chest,
This guilt in my chest.
it's not big enough for all of us.
It's not big enough for all of us.
This guilt in my chest,
This guilt in my chest.
it's not big enough for all of us.
It's not big enough for all of us. I still feel like a heaviness in my chest, but I think the guilt is resolved because it's not really that big of a deal now.
Okay. Okay. So thinking about the size of your basement suite and the guilt is 0?
Yeah, it's 0.
Okay. You still feel this heaviness in your chest.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you to think about this idea that you're not able to provide and you're fed up with it. And is there any other time that comes to your mind around this?
I keep thinking like clothing. Like I
Okay.
just want to be able to, like, kids' clothes are expensive. And of course my oldest loves name brands. So I just want to be able to splurge.
Have you ever said no, or he's asked for something that you've had to say no to?
Lots. I think the last time,
Yeah, pick a time that stands out in your mind.
yeah, I guess it's a time. It's not really anything big, but it's we were shopping a little bit and he wanted one of these sweaters that you can zip up and it has like a mask. And it was like a $50 sweater and I was gonna buy like a $30 sweater. And I said, like, no, we'll just have to do that next time. And he's fine. Like, he's such an easygoing kid. It doesn't bother him. But to me, I'm like, I feel bad that I couldn't just do that. And it's actually does bring back a time when I was little and I wanted a pair of these like Spice Girls sneakers.
Okay. Yes.
And I can remember my stepdad saying, yeah, like, we'll try to get them, but I don't know if we can. And I kind of knew that we wouldn't get them the whole time, but
Okay.
I have tapped on this so many times.
Okay.
But
Are you thinking, are you feeling anything now, remembering that Spice Girl sneakers, your dad said, no, we'll try to get them next time, did he say?
No, he just
And
said we'll try to get them. Like,
we'll try to get them and you...
Yeah, when we were in Walmart, and then at the end of them, he's ended up saying, like, no, we can't, sorry.
Okay. And so thinking about that now, what's the emotion that's left?
It's just kind of like, oh, I'll never be able to, you'll never, it's like that same kind of feeling where it's like you're never, like, looking at my dad thinking, like, you're never going to be able to buy us anything, or like, you'll never be able to fully provide.
Okay. And the emotion for that?
Just like, more so, I guess, annoyed again.
Annoyed.
Yeah.
Annoyed at who?
My dad.
Okay.
For him even suggesting it. He shouldn't have suggested it.
Good. Okay. And 0 to 10 on annoyed.
6.
Do you feel that in your chest or somewhere else?
It's in my chest.
Okay. Even though
I think it's sadness.
Sadness.
Sadness, like more in my eyes.
Okay. Even though I feel all the sadness,
Even though I feel all the sadness,
I feel sad for him even suggesting it.
I feel sad for him even suggesting it.
He said, we'll try.
He said, we'll try.
When I really wanted the Spice Girls sneakers,
And when I really wanted the Spice Girls sneakers,
he should have never suggested it.
he should have never suggested it.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I feel all this sadness in my eyes,
Even though I feel all this sadness in my eyes,
he said, no, we can't. Sorry.
he said, no, we can't. Sorry.
And I feel this sadness. He should have never suggested it.
I feel this sadness. He should have never suggested it.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I feel this sadness in my eyes,
Even though I feel this sadness in my eyes,
for him suggesting it,
for him suggesting it,
I really wanted those Spice Girls sneakers.
I really wanted those Spice Girls sneakers.
He said, we'll try to get them.
He said, we'll try to get them.
But I knew
But I knew
he should have never suggested it.
he should have never suggested it.
And I deeply and completely accept myself.
And I deeply and completely accept myself.
Good. All this sadness,
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 the sadness in my eyes,
the sadness in my eyes,
he should have never suggested it.
he should have never suggested it.
The sadness in my eyes,
The sadness in my eyes,
he should have never suggested it.
he should have never suggested it.
The sadness in my eyes.
The sadness in my eyes. Like I had this kind of thought, like this, I still feel like sadness in my eyes, probably like, I would say like a 4. But I had this thought that, like, I know he wanted to get them for me, so it was like nice and stuff, but then it's like this, almost this fear of like, what if that's always going to be me? You know, I'm always like, because I know, I mean, well, I want to get my boys everything and myself and my family and everything, but like, what if that never actually happens?
That you're what?
Become successful, or like am able to completely like support myself and my kids, and
Okay.
essentially, yeah, just all of that.
Okay. And what are you feeling about that?
Scared.
Okay. Even though I feel scared
Even though I feel scared
that I won't ever become successful,
that I won't ever become successful,
I won't be able to support myself and my family,
I won't be able to support myself and my family,
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I feel scared
Even though I feel scared
that I'll never become successful,
that I'll never become successful,
that I'll never be able to support myself and my family,
that I'll never be able to support myself and my family,
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I feel scared
Even though I feel scared
that I won't ever become successful,
that I won't ever become successful,
I won't be able to support myself or my family,
I won't be able to support myself or my family,
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Good. Feeling scared,
Feeling scared,
feeling scared.
feeling scared.
I won't be able to provide for myself or my family.
I won't be able to provide for myself or my family.
Feeling scared,
Feeling scared,
feeling scared,
feeling scared,
feeling scared.
feeling scared.
I won't be able to provide for myself or my family.
I won't be able to provide for myself or my family.
Feeling scared.
Feeling scared.
So that was a little global, and I just want to check. I didn't even check the intensity level on that. How scared are you now?
I think before it was like an 8, and then now it's probably like down to, well, it's still pretty high actually, like maybe a 7.
Okay. Okay. And is it still scared?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's do a little more sneaking up. Even though I feel scared,
I feel scared
I won't ever be able to provide for myself or my family.
I won't ever be able to provide for myself or my family.
I won't become successful.
I won't become successful.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I'm feeling scared,
Even though I'm feeling scared,
I'm afraid I won't ever become successful.
I'm afraid I won't ever become successful.
I won't be able to support myself or my family.
I won't be able to support myself or my family.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I feel scared,
Even though I feel scared,
I won't be able to support myself or my family.
I won't be able to support myself or my family.
I won't ever become successful.
I won't ever become successful.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Feeling scared,
Feeling scared,
I won't ever become successful.
I won't ever become successful.
Feeling scared,
Feeling scared,
I won't be able to be successful.
I won't be able to be successful.
I won't be able to support my family.
I won't be able to support my family.
Feeling scared,
Feeling scared,
I won't ever become successful.
I won't ever become successful.
I won't be able to support myself or my family.
I won't be able to support myself or my family. I actually had so much come up through that.
Okay.
So I'm like trying to like figure out so I had this kind of like image of my mom when I was like 10 years old or maybe even 11, and my mom's on the phone talking to like a collectors or something, and I feel like at that point I kind of just thought like, oh, that's what life is, you just pay bills.
Yeah.
And like there's no such thing as extra, there's no such thing as savings, or like if you get sick, there's no money for that, or
Yeah.
that's just life, that's what you are.
Okay. And thinking about your mom being on the phone with a collector, what are you feeling?
I feel sadness.
Yeah. 0 to 10.
7
Do you feel it anywhere in your body?
in my chest and my
Okay.
eyes.
Okay. Even though I feel all the sadness in my chest and in my eyes,
Even though I feel all the sadness in my chest and in my eyes.
my mom's on the phone with the collector,
My mom's on the phone with the collector,
and I think this is life.
and I think this is life.
There's no such thing as extra.
There's no such thing as extra.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though mom's on the phone with a collector,
Even though mom's on the phone with the collector,
and I feel the sadness in my chest and eyes,
and I feel this sadness in my chest and my eyes.
life is just about paying bills.
Life is just about paying bills.
There's no such thing as extra.
There's no such thing as extra.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I feel all of this sadness in my chest and in my eyes,
Even though I feel all this sadness in my chest and in my eyes.
mom's on the phone talking to a collector,
Mom's on the phone talking to a collector.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Good. All the sadness in my chest and eyes.
All the sadness in my chest and my eyes.
All of the sadness in my chest and my eyes.
All the sadness in my chest and in my eyes.
All the sadness in my chest and in my eyes.
All the sadness in my chest and in my eyes.
All the sadness in my chest and in my eyes.
All the sadness in my chest and in my eyes.
All the sadness in my chest and in my eyes.
All the sadness in my chest and in my eyes.
All the sadness in my chest and in my eyes.
All the sadness in my chest and in my eyes.
Mom's talking on the phone to a collector.
Mom's talking on the phone to a collector.
There's no such thing as extra.
There's no such thing as extra. Yeah, I feel better, like with looking back on that memory.
Okay.
Made up memory, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
But,
0 to 10.
yeah, I still feel like I do still feel sadness.
0 to 10.
7.
And is it still in your chest and eyes?
Yeah,
Okay, what part of that are you focusing on?
I just feel it. I don't. I
So
guess
do
I'm
you see the
focusing on.
image? What part are
What?
you focusing on? Do you see the image? What part are you focusing on?
I think that I'm just focusing on not being ahead right now.
Oh, okay. So nothing to do with that memory?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So I really, really want you to focus on that
Right.
specific memory for a minute and just check, look at your mom, listen to your mom, see what she's telling the collector.
Yeah.
And let's just check this before we move on. So tell me
Yeah.
0 to 10 on the sadness for hearing your mom talking to the collector.
I guess when I think about it, I can remember my little self thinking like, oh, well, that's just like less. That's even less like that just takes away from what we could have, or less food, less anything.
And is it still sadness that you're feeling?
I think I just feel some anger.
Okay. At,
My parents.
okay.
Um,
And 0 to 10 on the anger.
like a 7.
Okay. Even though I feel all of this anger,
Even though I feel all of this anger,
just listening to my mom on the phone with a collector,
just listening to my mom on the phone with the collector.
and I feel, yep, there's even less.
Yep, there's even less.
There's even less food.
There's even less food.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I feel this anger in my chest,
Even though I feel this anger in my chest,
hearing mom talk to the collector
hearing mom talk to the collector
and thinking there's less food,
and thinking there's less food,
there's even less.
there's even less.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I feel this anger at my parents,
Even though I feel this anger at my parents,
listening to my mom on the phone with the collector,
listening to my mom on the phone with the collector,
there's less food,
there's less food,
there's even less now.
there's even less now.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Good. This anger at my parents,
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 this anger at my parents. Thinking about that memory. I guess I still feel annoyed.
okay? Annoyed with your parents?
Yeah.
Okay. And so tell me why you're feeling annoyed with your parents, thinking about that they're having to have a phone call with a collector. Make that connection for me. Why annoyed?
Yeah, I think I just feel annoyed because how did you get yourself into that situation? Like, what are you spending your money on?
Yeah. Okay. Annoyed 0 to 10.
Like a 5.
Okay. And do you feel that anywhere?
In my chest.
Okay. Even though I feel this anger in my chest.
Even though I feel this anger in my chest.
Sorry, you said annoyed. Yes. So even though I feel annoyed in my chest,
Even though I feel annoyed in my chest.
annoyed with my parents,
Annoyed with my parents.
feeling it in my chest,
Feeling it in my chest.
my mom's on the phone with a collector,
My mom's on the phone with the collector.
and I'm thinking, how did you get in this situation?
And I'm thinking, how did you get in this situation?
What did you spend your money on?
What did you spend your money on?
I deeply, completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I feel annoyed with my parents,
Even though I feel annoyed with my parents.
and I feel it in my chest,
And I feel it in my chest.
how did you get in this situation?
How did you get in this situation?
What did you spend your money on?
What did you spend your money on?
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though my mom's on the phone with the collector.
Even though my mom's on the phone with the collector.
And I'm feeling annoyed with my parents.
And I'm feeling annoyed with my parents.
What did you spend your money on?
What did you spend your money on?
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Feeling annoyed with my parents.
Feeling annoyed with my parents.
What did you spend your money on?
What did you spend your money on?
Feeling annoyed with my parents.
Feeling annoyed with my parents.
What did you spend your money on?
What did you spend your money on?
Feeling annoyed with my parents.
Feeling annoyed with my parents.
What did you spend your money on?
What did you spend your money on?
Feeling annoyed with my parents.
Feeling annoyed with my parents.
What did you spend your money on?
What did you spend your money on? That's a 0.
Okay. Okay. So I want to go back to something that we started with, which is this idea that it's about no matter how much you make, there's not going to be enough. Something always happens. And so, I'm thinking about that this is a pattern, right? And so sometimes with patterns, there is sort of an unconscious resistance to doing things differently or having things show up differently. There might be something underneath the surface that prevents you from really doing well. So I want to ask you, so it doesn't matter how much you make, you always have bills show up unexpectedly.
Yeah. Except for when I'm in a relationship.
Okay, so that's a clue.
Yeah, I know, it's so weird.
Yeah.
When in both my 2 long-term relationships, I always had a really good savings.
Yeah.
The second
All right.
I was out, sorry.
Okay, that's okay. So, okay, so that's something to explore, and I would say, that's something else to definitely work on. Okay. And it's what I specialize in, funny enough, so I always see that.
Oh, okay.
But let me have you close your eyes and think about you in a situation where you're earning enough money to pay all your bills no matter what happens, and you have savings. How are you feeling seeing yourself in that place of abundance and financial security? Does that feel okay? Is there anything that's negative about that?
It feels good, but at the same time, there's this little part of me that's like, that's not possible.
Okay. And so close your eyes again, and I want you to look at all of your friends and your family and your circle of people that you encounter on a day-to-day basis, and they see that, ooh, she's abundant, she's prosperous, she's doing really well. Is there anyone in those circles that isn't feeling 100% happy with how you're doing?
My ex?
Okay. And so imagine your ex seeing you really prosperous. What do you think he's going to say or do? Or think?
I don't know. It's hard for me to narrow it down because I don't care. But
okay. So how do you know?
I think it's just him mostly saying why couldn't you just be like that when we were together?
Be like what?
Abundant and happy and all of that.
Okay. All right. And thinking of that situation where, let's say you run into him and he finds out you're doing really well, you're happy, you're abundant, and you think he's going to say something like that or think it or feel it?
Honestly, I don't think he would say anything. I think he would just feel it.
Okay. And him feeling that way in this made-up encounter in the future, what are you feeling about that he's feeling this way?
I guess I could say I would feel the same way if roles were reversed. So I don't know, just like that. I don't know if this is like something that would really affect me.
Okay.
Like,
Say more about that.
well, I just don't think like even if he did say something super negative or anything, like I can't see, like, to be honest, I want to do better just because of that.
Okay. Okay. So that's not something that you think holds you back.
I don't think so. I don't think anyone in my life necessarily holds me back.
Okay. Great.
Besides, yeah.
That's good. That's really good. All right. So the other thing I wanted to say is let's go back to what you were saying with I'm afraid I won't be able to provide. And what is the in your mind, what's the worst case scenario for you?
Literally just being where I am today forever. Because right now I make enough for my bills and I make enough to pay for unexpected bills, and that's it. Which is amazing, honestly, for a single parent. I'm doing more amazing than I've ever in my life, but like if I had to go this way forever, like I feel like it's the point.
Okay. So what is it that you want to be doing that would be like an indication that you were just beyond being able to just hit your bills and expected expenses? What is it that you would want to be doing? If you were making enough, what would you do? Where would you go? What would you buy? What are the things that you do?
I would own a house that had 3 bedrooms and a big backyard. We would travel. I would be able to put my boys in sports. And I would have a savings, and I would be comfortable. Like I would feel good.
Okay. And so that feeling of having savings and of owning a home, of being able to put your kids in sports, the fact that you don't have that now, what is the feeling?
Sadness.
Okay.
But I actually did have kind of a thought where having all of that and saying that out loud is like, I don't feel like I'm responsible enough to do all that.
Oh, so okay. So that could be one of the things, the subconscious things that is preventing you from getting that you're not responsible enough to have it.
Mm-hmm. Like, how would I manage all that on my own by myself?
Okay. And so what makes you think or feel or believe that you aren't, what indication or proof do you have that you aren't responsible enough to have all those things?
When I was 23, I actually went through a bankruptcy.
Okay. Give me a low point in that bankruptcy.
So it wasn't necessarily the bankruptcy. It was actually realizing like I can remember myself in my basement suite and like realizing like
in your what?
In my basement suite when I was 23.
Okay, is that a different basement suite than you're living in now?
Yeah.
Interesting, right?
Yeah, I know. This is why I'm so triggered lately.
Okay. Makes sense. So you're 23, you're in your basement suite, and what's the thought or feeling that came?
It's like I can remember just feeling like everything was on my shoulders, and like I didn't have enough money for food. I didn't have enough money for bills. I didn't have enough money for anything. I had no money at all. And then I was like, I've literally recreated my childhood.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So there's all that stuff that you should look at and key emotional experiences from that era of your life, from childhood. But let's focus on the 23-year-old, and you're thinking you're in that basement suite and you're feeling everything on your shoulders and not enough money for food. What's the emotion that's coming up now as you think of that moment?
I failed.
I'm sorry?
I failed.
I failed. Okay. So you feel that in your body?
Yeah. My eyes
Okay.
and my
Even
shoulders.
okay. Yeah. Even though I feel this in my shoulders and in my eyes,
Even though I feel this in my shoulders and in my eyes,
I failed.
I failed.
Just remembering when I was 23 in that basement suite,
Just remembering when I was 23 in that basement suite,
having declared bankruptcy,
having to clear bankruptcy.
there's not enough money at all.
There's not enough money at all.
No money for bills, no money for food.
No money for bills, no money for food.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I'm 23 in that basement suite,
Even though I'm 23 in that basement suite
and everything's on my shoulders,
and everything's on my shoulders,
I don't have enough money for bills or food.
I don't have enough money for bills or food.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I'm in that basement suite,
Even though I'm in that basement suite,
having just declared bankruptcy,
having just declared bankruptcy,
there's not enough money at all.
there's not enough money at all.
I don't have money for food or bills.
I don't have money for food or bills.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Good. Everything's on my shoulders.
Everything's on my shoulders.
There's not enough money at all.
There's not enough money at all.
There's not enough money for bills or for food.
There's not enough money for bills or for food.
Everything's on my shoulders.
Everything's on my shoulders.
I feel it in my eyes and in my shoulders.
I feel it in my eyes and in my shoulders.
Everything's on my shoulders.
Everything's on my shoulders.
And I failed.
And I failed.
I failed.
I failed. I actually feel lighter.
Okay. 0 to 10 on I failed in that moment.
4.
Okay. Still in your eyes and shoulders?
My eyes.
Okay. All right. Even though I failed,
Even though I failed,
there's not enough money
there's not enough money
for bills or food.
for bills or food.
Sitting in that basement suite,
Sitting in that basement suite. And sorry, I do remember thinking, what the hell did I spend all my money on?
what did I spend all my money on?
What did I spend all my money on?
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I'm in that basement suite thinking,
Even though I'm in that basement suite thinking,
what the hell did I spend all that money on?
what the hell did I spend all that money on?
I have no money for food.
I have no money for food.
I have no money for bills.
I have no money for bills.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though everything's on my shoulders.
Even though everything's on my shoulders.
And I failed.
And I failed.
What the hell did I spend my money on?
What the hell did I spend my money on?
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
What the hell did I spend my money on?
What the hell did I spend my money on?
I have no money at all.
I have no money at all.
No money for food or bills.
No money for food or bills.
What the hell did I spend my money on?
What the hell did I spend my money on?
What the hell did I spend my money on?
What the hell did I spend my money on?
I failed.
I failed.
What the hell did I spend my money on?
What the hell did I spend my money on?
I failed.
I failed. Yeah, I think I feel like a little bit of sadness thinking about that. Like a 3.
What part of it?
I guess just kind of like looking back on that, like that girl, and just kind of looking back at that situation and that girl, and just seeing that picture.
Okay.
Because I know what she spent her money on. She spent it on alcohol and drugs and.
Oh, okay.
Like.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Even though I feel this sadness.
Even though I feel this sadness.
Just looking back at that girl.
Looking back at that girl.
Because I know what she spent her money on.
Because I know what she spent her money on.
And it's still a 3 on the sadness?
Yeah.
Okay. I know my situation is different today.
I know my situation's different today.
It's a lot different.
A lot different.
So just if I throw something at you and it doesn't land, just let me know.
Yeah.
And so my situation isn't as dire.
My situation isn't as dire.
Even though I look on that girl
Even though I look on that girl
and I feel all this sadness
and I feel all the sadness
because I do know what she spent that money on.
because I do know what she spent that money on.
And I don't spend my money that way now.
And I don't spend my money that way now.
I've come a long way from where I was at 23.
I've come a long way from where I was at 23.
Even though I feel this remaining sadness.
Even though I feel this remaining sadness.
Because I do know what she was spending her money on.
Because I do know what she was spending her money on.
It's not how I spend my money now.
It's not how I spend my money now.
This remaining sadness.
This remaining sadness.
Looking back at that girl.
Looking back at that girl.
And seeing what she was spending her money on.
And seeing what she was spending her money on.
But I won't spend my money on that today.
I do not spend my money on that today.
I'm a lot different than that 23-year-old.
I'm a lot different than that 23-year-old.
I've come a long way since that picture.
I've come a long way since that picture.
Things are different.
Things are different.
I'm not that 23-year-old now.
I'm not that 23-year-old now. Good.
Okay, how you doing?
Good.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. So let me ask you, because it came up several times, do you know where your money goes? So I ask that to people with money challenges, and almost invariably people say no. And I've asked them, have a budget, and they say no. Do you have anything like that in place for yourself?
So, can you repeat the last part?
Yeah, do you have a budget?
Oh, yeah,
You do have a budget, so you know where your money goes?
for the most part. But it's weird because it's like I spend my money on my budget, but then I feel like sometimes it doesn't add up at the end of the month. So there are times where I feel like, where did my money go?
Okay.
Even though I know that I have accounted. So I'll be like, here, like $100 for just like free money, and then like my bill money, and then like stuff like that. And then at the end, I'm like, I feel like I should have more left.
Okay. So one of the things that you can do, so that I'm really glad to hear that, because many people do not, or they're frightened of sitting down and looking at the numbers. And I suggest, tapping on that stuff. So I want you to think about how you can start to increase the feeling that you have of gratitude for the money that you already have.
Okay.
So what would be one small way that you would start to feel grateful when you think about your money situation, or you're faced with your money situation, or is there a time of the month that you can think of where you might be able to do that?
Yeah, like I feel grateful that I can even pay for my bills.
Okay. So one of the things that I recommend is when you sit down to write your bills, if you do not feel absolutely grateful that you have the money to pay, then definitely tap on that. Sit down before tapping on anything like that. Sit down and tap on, if you're going to pay some taxes. Wow, I feel great that I earned enough to have to pay these taxes. So any way that you can start to shift that is good. And I also think that that what you mentioned before around your, recreating your family situation, family of origin situation, is definitely key to keep working on that, and events that you can remember, significant events around that.
Okay.
So now with this idea that no matter how much you make, something is always going to happen, are you feeling a little different than when we started?
Yeah, I am feeling a little different.
Okay.
I feel like more hopeful in the sense that like I will be able to like do like recreate, or like to build up and put my money towards where I want to put it at.
Great.
Yeah.
Good. The idea that you can, the one that I didn't really check on was having a 3-bedroom home and paying for your kids' sports and doing all of that, there was this thought that I'm not responsible enough.
Mhm.
When you say that I'm not responsible enough to have those things, does it still sound true?
No, it doesn't.
Okay, super.
Yeah.
Good, good.
Yeah.
That will definitely open things up. All right,
Yeah.
thank you so much for this. It was great.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
Okay.